After work every day, Nanette Rosa brings her 2 daughters to feed their horses. It's their favorite part of the day.
Here you go, baby. Come on.
It's a time they don't think about pain.
It's really difficult for my mom to have 2 daughters with cancer. Sometimes we both get sick at the same time, and she don't have anyone there to help her, and it really affects her.
Hey, silence.
16-year-old Coral is the eldest of Nanette's 2 daughters. Both battle cancer. Coral was diagnosed with neuroblastoma, a cancer in young children.
She had removed half of her stomach and her intestines, partly, almost everything, it's plastic.
For nearly 6 decades, the U.S. military used much of Vieques Island as a bombing range. Now, about 3/4 of the island's residents, including Coral and her sister, Ina, are part of a lawsuit that claims the bombing range made them sick. How do you feel right now?
Sometimes I feel sad because, everybody calls me plastic intestines. They say, oh, you plastic belly. And I told them, you know what? If you were in this condition, how would you feel? Yeah.
Coral showed us what she lives with every day.
So they could see how I feel when everybody teases me.
Ina is Coral's 14-year-old sister. When she was 7, a large tumor was found in her mouth. What happened? Can you show me what happened?
Okay, it started with swollen part. It was very swollen, and it looks like if there was a big ball of gum in my mouth, or a big lollipop.
Okay.
And I started having pains. The only thing that came out was blood.
Ina was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma, a bone cancer.
You cannot walk down the street on this island without counting every house and knowing 2 or 3 people on the street that have cancer, or have had cancer, or have died cancer.
John Eves Jr. represents the islanders in the lawsuit against the federal government. He's taken more than 1,300 hair samples from residents of Vieques, looking for heavy metals.
These hair samples, I believe, are the strongest proof that the contaminants, the things that were in the bombs, lead, mercury, cadmium, arsenic, aluminum, are now in the people.
Some of the samples show readouts of toxic elements that are literally right off the charts. We drove to the other side of this Caribbean island to find one of the families tested and their daughter named Tashmali.
So we ended up finding Tashmali, and she was 2 years old when she had her hair tested, and now we're at her house and we want to see if we can talk to her family and also just to see how she's feeling.
Inside, Tashmali's parents told us she had been very sick. They fear she may get sick again.
She used to look like she was in chemotherapy. Yeah. She started to get a lot of dark spots around the legs. She started having problems with. She don't have a good movement in her fingers. Ella empezó a tener problemas en movimientos de las manos.
And so you weren't surprised at all that this child did suffer, an illness?
No, I wasn't surprised at all that this child had some problems, and the father talked about the neurological hands and the neurological damage that's very extensive throughout the island. I see it many times over. We hope that this child will not have cancer in the future, but we don't know.
The population of Vieques is by far the sickest human population that I've ever worked with. These people are very sick, very early, and dying earlier. So something is happening there.
Dr. Carmen Ortiz is a Harvard-trained epidemiologist and a physician in San Juan.
It's astonishing. They die 30% higher of cancer, 45% higher of diabetes, 95% higher of liver disease, and 381% higher of hypertension than the rest of Puerto Ricans.
In 2003, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found no link between the Navy's contamination and the sicknesses suffered by the islanders. But now, the CDC plans to re-study the issue after many scientists raised strong complaints. In response to the islanders' lawsuit, the U.S. government is invoking sovereign immunity. claiming the islanders do not have the right to sue the government and that there's no proof the Navy's activities caused illnesses.
There's a lot of people here in the hospital dying of cancer. I have my little cousin that died of cancer. I have my sister that has cancer. My boyfriend's mom died of cancer.
It's hard. It's hard. And what I'm going through is not easy.
Your daughters told me that sometimes they don't tell you exactly how they're feeling if they're not feeling well because they don't want to worry you.
Yes, because I'm a type of mother that I cry so much. I've been hurt. It's too much pain. I have to hold on because of them. I have to hold on because they need me. But then I don't know if tomorrow I'm going to have them home. I don't know if when I wake up I'm going to see them.
We asked the U.S. Department of Justice and the Navy for comment, but neither wanted to discuss the Islanders' lawsuit with CNN.
Abby, it is hard to watch these young people, what they're going through. Are they getting good medical care, and how are they paying for it?
Well, they are getting some medical care, but they're hoping the government will one day pay for that medical care, and that's why they're part of this lawsuit. But right now, they're asking for donations from their family and friends. Otherwise, it's up to the mom to come up with the money, and she's having a really hard time figuring out how to make ends meet. And when we were there, one of those girls had a really bad toothache, and she opened her mouth real wide and said, "Look at my mouth, this really, really hurts." And her mom wasn't able to bring her to the dentist because she couldn't afford it.
Yeah. No. So what happens next with the lawsuit?
Well, the U.S. government is wanting this lawsuit to go away. They want it to be dismissed, but that's going to be up to the courts in Puerto Rico. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But if this case is not dismissed, it will likely be a very long and complicated road before it ends up in front of a trial, in front of a jury.
Abby Boudreau, excellent work. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.